You feeling okay?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm feeling all right, mate. 5 goals, good evening. Little switch up from the usual seating area, but you got to treat yourself sometimes, haven't you, mate? Yeah, professional performance tonight. Got the job done. Did what we should have done. Did what we were expected to do. Good minutes for a lot of players. Nice to see a few goals as well, and no injuries. Players coming back from injury. Gusto getting minutes. Nice to see Chukwuemeka back on the pitch. And whatever people think of Ben Chilwell, it's nice to see him back out there as well. Because from a personal standpoint, it can't be easy to go through what he's been going through. So I don't really think we could have had a much better evening, to be honest, mate, considering the circumstances and the level of opposition.
I mean, what was your prediction? Because I did say 5-0. I did say 5-0. But you know what? We've seen so many results. You can say whatever you want. You never know what to expect. But actually, over the past few games, that standard has sort of been maintained. Why do you think that is, and how do we keep that going?
I mean, look, these games are always tricky because you're the overwhelming favourites, and there's always an element of danger when you come into a game against a team that's got nothing to play for. You're expected to win. You're expected to perform. Wholesale changes were made, 11 changes made, but it just goes to demonstrate the squad depth that we've got, that we've essentially played a rotated lineup, and you can still put out a front four of Neto, Mudryk, Felix and Nkunku. It's not bad, that, is it? So, we're in a good position squad-wise. It's just demonstrating the strength that we've got in the team. And look, I think we're starting to put together a little run now. That's 3 wins in a row, 3 clean sheets on the spin as well. I just think the players are getting more used to the ideas, getting more comfortable. Maresca's message is getting across more. They're getting more used to it. The more time you spend with the gaffer, the more used to the style of play you're going to get. And I think we're now starting to see that we're creating a lot of opportunities. We're scoring a lot of goals, and we've tightened up defensively as well. That's a big thing. Tighten up defensively. Completely different back four today, and we still kept a clean sheet. Yes, the level of opposition did drastically drop, but these are the sort of games that you might expect to let one in, maybe make a mistake or two or whatever, because you've made changes and perhaps the pressure's not as big as it would be in other games. So yeah, things are starting to come together, mate.
But it's interesting, you talk about how we're blending into the ideas. This doesn't typically happen quickly with a squad that has finished outside of the Champions League for 2 years on the trot. Why is it clicking now? And yeah, I mean, I get that. It's just, yeah, that's it really. I mean, why is it clicking now? Because we didn't expect this. I mean, it was a very underwhelming appointment. I think we can all agree on that. But it's turned out to be better than we expected so far. We just hope it continues that way.
I mean, look, it's early days. I think we couldn't have had a better start to the season. Other than the game against Palace, that's probably the only one you look at and you think, yeah, we should have won that game and we didn't. But other than that, mate, I think we've got the points on the board that I would have expected us to have. And I've not seen anything that I haven't expected to see. I expected us to be good going forward. I expected us to create chances. I expected us to score goals. I expected us, to have more controlling games. And that's exactly what's happened. And I just think we're improving defensively from that standpoint. And we've got very good players. This is, I know it's a different manager, different way of playing, but these players, another year to go. Yes, there's been a few more additions to the squad, but these guys are all, a majority of these lads are also another year more experience and a year at the football club. And look, there's too many good players at this football club for things not to click and for things to start to come together. And look, it's early days. Let's have a look where we are in another 10 games time after 15 games in the Premier League. But we are absolutely heading in the right direction, and there are signs of progress. And that, as a fan and as a manager, I'm sure, is what you're looking for. Signs of progress, that the team are getting better game by game. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Where do you think we've improved the most in terms of on pitch compared to last season?
Control of games. Last season was very much basketball vibes, almost like Parma and hope for the best. It feels like a much more collective effort this season. The supporting cast, as it were, are stepping up. So Parma, wasn't particularly effective against Bournemouth or West Ham. Yes, he scored against West Ham, but he wasn't particularly effective in either of those games. Last season, that would have been an absolute disaster for us. This season, supporting cast are stepping up and they're contributing. So if Parma does have a quiet game, it doesn't really seem to matter that much. You've got a Sancho, you've got a Neto, you've got an Nkunku, you've got a Felix, or whoever it might be, a Madueke or whatever. And defensively, we seem to be improving a little bit as well. I just think that's, players getting more used to each other, having a settled partnership. Last season, for multiple reasons, we didn't have a settled back line. And I think on the early evidence of this season, you're starting to see the benefits of having that. So I'm very much feet on the ground, still not getting massively carried away. But, you have to give out praise for the start to the season that we've had and the things that we're seeing.
100%. I mean, we saw Gusto inverting today. Cucurella inverted against West Ham. He's been the player that's been doing it, especially while Gusto's been out. when they're both fit, who do you think inverts?
I think you've got options, haven't you? I don't think it really matters. You'd say that Cucurella was more suited to that role, but having Gusto being able to do it is not going to be a bad thing, is it? So I think it's just going to be a game-by-game basis, whatever Maresca kind of feels like. You can switch it up. One could invert one half, one could invert the other half. I don't think there needs to be a set thing for it. But tonight was great for Nkunku as well, getting a hat trick. He's not been in favour in the league. He started one league game. Jackson's preferred to him. It's a really important night for him to get 3 goals, some really well-taken finishes. And that's the one thing you can say about Nkunku, mate. He doesn't offer what Jackson offers in terms of all-round play, but he probably is Chelsea's best finisher at the end of the day. But we know that he's not going to start against Brighton on Saturday. But he's
why do you think that is?
Because he doesn't offer enough to the team in terms of all-round play and in terms of the balance, in my view. Jackson left out the squad completely tonight. He's going to play Saturday. We know that. But look, Nkunku's sending a reminder that look, I'm here. This is what I can do. I score goals. I'm a good finisher. He's better in tight spaces than Jackson. Yes, he's a better finisher than Jackson, but Jackson offers more to the team, and that for me is why he's playing.
Just with the runs and the link up and stuff like that. Because I actually think Nkunku's link up was good today, but I agree with you in terms of some of the runs that Jackson makes, especially that run for the first goal he scored against West Ham. I'm not sure if I see Nkunku doing the same thing.
That's not his game though. He doesn't get in behind. He's better in tight spaces and things like that. So for me, it's good to have those two different options up there. You can start a game with Nkunku, or you can. For me, I think Nkunku's better off the bench in those bigger games. He can come on, he can do something in a tight space or whatever. He only needs half a chance, and he's more than likely to stick it away. Whereas Jackson, I think defenders would rather play against Nkunku because Jackson's going to cause problems running in behind, stretching defences, running channels, pulling players out of position and whatnot. So that for me is why he starts.
What about on the wings as well? I mean, Mudryk, I think he certainly had a better game than what I've seen a lot of time when he's played for Chelsea. That seems like a progression in my book. Do you see an improvement under Maresca so far?
I think that was an improvement tonight. Look, we can only see what we can only comment on what we've seen, and it's been underwhelming this season from Mudryk. He's got the ability, he's got the the tools. We've said that so many times. But eventually, you've got to start delivering on the pitch. And for me, tonight was better from him. You'd expect something from him against this level of opposition, and he was good. Unselfish, and a good decision to square the ball for Nkunku. And a couple of good runs getting in, getting past the fullback and whatnot. So yeah, look, I thought that was a step in the right direction for him tonight. Obviously, we need to see more. He will get more opportunities, and he's just got to keep impressing. Ultimately, it's all down to him. But that was definitely a step in the right direction for him tonight. And it's also good to see Neto get off the mark as well, because he has struggled a little bit since he arrived. Settling into the side and whatnot. So it's pleasing to see guys that have not featured regularly or have sort of struggled initially, getting some minutes and getting some confidence into them, and that's going to bode well going forward. You are going to need these guys, whether they're playing Conference League, Carabao Cup or whatever. Across the course of the season, you're going to need these guys to step up. So it really is a squad game. It's not just the starting 11. It's very much it's very much a core of 15, 16 players, and I think we're going to see that massively this season.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, one of the things we were speaking about in the stadium was the position of Neto. I spoke to Dazzling Daves, who's a big Wolves fan. Check out his channel, it's always Wolves Fan TV. And he said to me when we first bought Neto, he doesn't need to just play on the right, he's just as good on the left. But Maresca said he's going to be playing on the right. I mean, do you think that we should still rotate him on both sides? Obviously, Sancho will be starting on the left the majority, but I personally would rather have him playing in a Premier League game instead of Mudryk, and I think that he has a lot to offer on both sides. What's your take on it?
Yeah, look, I think Maresca said it's going to be, mainly going to be a right wing. It doesn't mean that he can't play on the left, and I think that's the beauty of him. You can use him either side. I think predominantly, as I said, he will play on the right-hand side. But yeah, I think it's great to be able to have those options and that flexibility that you can put him on either side, and it's not going to make too much of a difference. So, to be honest, mate, I'm not really too fussed where he plays.
What's your prediction for Brighton?
We need to win. This is a real opportunity now. We've got 4 home games, 3 in a row now up to the next international break. This is a big opportunity to start building some momentum and putting a run of wins together. There's no reason why we shouldn't be beating Brighton, Ghent, and then Forest heading into the international break. That's what we have to be doing now. We will need to lay down a mark.
Another international break?
Yeah, after Forest. After Forest, mate. So we've got another international break in 2 weeks.
What's the point of having all these? What is the point? Why not just put them together and have one block? I don't get it.
I don't know, but this is a chance to put together some momentum, mate, and step in the right direction. So, yeah, this is a real opportunity for us now. And look, I think we can be excited about what's to come. And, we have had a really good start to the season, and tonight was a really positive evening on all fronts.
Thank you very much, mate. Pleasure.